Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Word on the Street Is with Michael and Gabby, where we mention it all about your favorite Bravo celebrities and the shows that they star in.
Hey everyone, today we're welcomed by Zack Ziegler from the About Bravo podcast. He's a fellow Bravo lover and he also makes really fun Bravo TikToks just like us. So welcome, Zack.
Hi guys, so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. We're so glad to have you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to just chit chat. There's so much that's going on in the Bravo world right now. So I feel like we have so much to talk about.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. This whole year has been really crazy.
Chaotic.
I like to say the Bravo hive has been feasting well.
Oh, we've been fed for sure. We've been fed.
And then some.
And then some for sure.
Well, the only thing that we are not being given this year is BravoCon. We just learned that is going to be canceled. We are really, really sad. Michael even booked his trip to New York already in anticipation for this. So we really are so bummed. But the silver lining is Michael's now switching his trip to California to see me.
Oh, yeah. Fun. I was like, oh my gosh, you booked your trip and it's canceled. I would have been so heartbroken.
Because I literally looked at the flights and it was only from Detroit to New York City was like $170.
Oh, that's not bad.
And it was like American. It wasn't like Spirit or anything. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, I'm just going to book this. And then if something happens, whatever. And then I was like, okay, well, it got canceled. Why don't I just come to LA and visit? So I just switched my flight this week. So now I will be in LA.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be fun though. That's still like a bonus. You could do Bravo stuff in LA for sure.
Oh, for sure. We're going to do Tom and Sir and whatever.
We're going to go to the Quiet Women.
Oh, yeah.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
not my plate. That's not my plate.
You probably won't be licking the window of the door though.
Yeah, no, definitely not with this variant out like crazy.
No.
I'm so bummed that it's canceled, but at the same time, like I'm in a wedding like the week before. So I was like trying to figure it. I was like, okay, I have to really like navigate how I'm gonna like get there, if I'm gonna stay long, like if I'm gonna bring my work there or whatever. Yeah. And then when it got canceled, I was like, okay, I'm really sad, but at the same time, like I'm a little
your bank account took a heavy sigh of relief.
That's what I was thinking.
Exactly.
Because it's probably was going to be like $600 for the ticket or more.
Something else that I'm also very disappointed about is that we still do not have the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City trailer yet.
I hear it's supposed to come tomorrow. Like Dave Quinn tweet from like people, he tweeted like the forecast tomorrow is going to be like chilly, and he's usually like always like right when he like tweets his stuff. There's like that one Twitter page that keeps like trying to tell us things, and I'm like, stop, don't lie to me.
I know, I can't take it, because I saw yesterday it was supposed to come today and then it didn't come today. I literally have been thinking it was going to come like 2 weeks ago. So
yeah, when people were tweeting about it, they're like, oh my gosh, it's dropping like tomorrow. And like everyone was like all ready. And now I'm like, Kim Richards, I'm like, you're lying.
And well, because I thought the premiere date was like September 12th. So that's like literally a month away.
I feel like it will probably premiere either like later in September or like early October.
I am so ready for this.
I'm ready.
Portia Williams announced that she is leaving Dish Nation after 8 years. And on her post, when it was like, it's never easy to say goodbye, Michael and I like both had like a heart attack thinking it was about Atlanta.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. Like I'm a big Portia fan. My co-host on our podcast, Mo, he's a big Portia fan, so he was like having a heart attack, and then it just turned out to be Dish Nation. We're like, oh, okay.
That's okay. I don't watch Dish Nation, so it's fine.
Yeah, I don't really care. But yeah, Portia's in my top 3 and like current housewives right now. And I also saw that she had posted something else like kind of cryptic like a week ago that was something about like, the time's right to say goodbye or something. So I think that was just about Dish Nation. I do have a feeling she will be back next season. I just feel like she's kind of holding out for more money maybe, but I feel like they kind of need her because it seems like they've been having issues with the cast.
I don't see her like leaving, especially after doing like a spinoff. because it's not a spin-off where it's like getting like it's not like a Don't Be Tardy. I think it's just like a one-off thing. Yeah, I don't see her leaving anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, she does the Bravo chat room. She's had her other like Portia's having a baby spinoff. Like, not that many housewives have gotten those little spin-off things. So
that means you're like, the network really likes you.
Yeah. And they're getting rid of Cynthia, and she hogged like $2 million or close to that.
She was a big paycheck. So I think like dropping her, which like, I love Cynthia. I think she was like a great housewife for like a time.
Yeah.
But I just think there's sometimes it's ready. We're ready.
We're
ready to meet some new people.
Yeah. I think she had drama when Nene was on, but then other than that, I don't know.
She had a great like close like last season, you know, like a great closing like to her like story. Like she got married, she found her like, you know, happily ever after. So if she was the first one to like be married on her like first season and then her last season also be married, like that's iconic. Like I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna bow out when it's like good, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I like that. And then Brandy Redmond also posted some cryptic stuff on her Instagram about if she's going to be staying on Dallas or not. What do you guys think?
But then I like saw that, but then I like went to her page like immediately to like check, and it wasn't there anymore. So like, I wonder if she like posted it and then deleted it. But like, I mean, I don't think she's back at all.
No.
So like, I'm like just kind of like waiting for these women to be like, I'm waiting for us to get the announcement of the cast shake.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone knows what's going on, but like, it's like, when are we going to get the actual news?
Yeah.
I really don't give two shits about Brandy Redmond, to be honest. So I
don't either. Dallas needs help because like I loved Dallas like the first like couple seasons. I would like be like, you know how people would be like, don't sleep on Potomac, I'd be like, don't sleep on Dallas, like Dallas is great, like it's so good. And then it just took like this like nosedive, and I think it can get back, like I really do. I feel like it's such a like like an amazing like city, and like definitely has the drama, so and the wealth. Like I feel like they're holding out on like the wealth aspect, you know. I feel like we've gotten a little bit with like Deandra and like Tiffany, but like I feel like let's get some like Dallas like rich wealthy women in there. They need to do like a cast shake up like OC.
Yeah
I mean, I hate to say it, but Leanne did kind of carry the show. So
I always say this is like my unpopular opinion. Like she's like horrible, she's like an awful human being. What she did was vile, and I don't think she should have a platform, but damn did she like carry that show.
Yeah, she really did. So there was a little bit of non-Bravo news we wanted to touch on briefly. Michael and I do watch The Bachelorette and are part of Bachelor Nation, especially me. I've been watching for like 10 years. I can't stop. It's an addiction. I need help. But Katie chose Blake at the end of this season of The Bachelor. It's the first time we've ever seen somebody come in from another season at a later time after a season's already started and not only get this far, but win. So, and I didn't see that coming.
To me, he seems really thirsty and kind of desperate. I think he would have proposed to whoever. I mean, he showed up for Claire, then he was obsessed with Tayshia, then he came for Katie. I just get like gross vibes from him, but whatever.
What you just said gave me like the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, like I don't know.
I haven't watched in such a long time, but like what you just said, that he
he's literally been a contestant for 3 different bachelorettes.
Yeah, that's a little problematic for me.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work out between them.
No,
but I mean, he's not as big of a jerk as like a lot of other guys. I'll give him that.
Well, the way that Katie was so triggered by Greg makes me think that I think she was gonna pick him.
Yeah, I think so too. But he was an ass at the
for
final
sure.
rose. Like I mean, she kind of steamrolled him. He deserved it, but he really didn't stand up for himself, and it was pretty pathetic.
Yeah, for like somebody who's happily engaged to act like that, to be so triggered by someone makes me think like, I don't know.
Well, she didn't have any resolution.
Well, I don't know. I think if you're happily engaged, you shouldn't be that worried about some other guy.
And then another thing we wanted to touch on, very, very happy news about Britney Spears. Her father, the monster Jamie Spears, has stepped down as the head of her conservatorship.
Which is great news, but correct me if I'm wrong, she's still in the conservatorship.
She's still in the conservatorship. And I believe that, like, I don't think he's officially stepped down. It's like, that, like, it's in motion. And he's like agreed to step down, which is like a huge step. And I just hope that it gets pushed all the way through the court. And I just want her to get a normal life. Like, honestly, like I would love to have more Britney Spears music in the future, but if I never got it and she was just really happy with her kids and got married and stuff, like that's all I want for her.
She's given us so much already. I agree with you 100%, Zach. It was my childhood. She's everything. We have Britney Spears music for every occasion. We're set. She's a queen. Let her live her life.
Yeah. I can listen to Lucky on repeat anyway. So
no, true.
Yeah, that's me with Oops, I Did It Again.
Oh my gosh, yes, I love all of those. Like she's given us so many iconic moments, iconic songs, iconic music videos. And if she came out with an album, I wouldn't be upset, obviously. But if she went away, I'd be like, okay, I'm so happy for her.
Yeah,
your life.
I'd be
free Britney.
Yeah.
Yes. So those of you who've been listening to our podcast know that we ask all of our first-time guests to share their Bravo palette with us. So Zach, if you could please start off with sharing your 5 top favorite Real Housewives. Doesn't have to be in particular order, and they can be past or present.
Okay, so my number one, like I'll tell you my number one favorite, and then the others are like, there's no particular order. They're just all in my like top 5. But Sonia Morgan is my all-time favorite housewife. I just think she's hysterical. She like cracks me up. My sister got me a cameo from her for like my birthday, like a couple years ago. And it was like the best thing ever.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh my gosh, like I loved it. And it was so Sonia, you know, like she's just got I love how Sonia is just so authentically her, like off camera as well. She's just like, and that's what I like about the New York women. After that, Jill Zarin's one of my faves. She's in my top 5. I'd say Karen Huger has entered the top 5. I think she just is so iconic, and it, like, to me is like, she's my favorite on Potomac. And then we were talking about Nene Leakes earlier. Nene is in my top 5. Nene is just, she's amazing. She's like, what I think she's the one that really like put Housewives, like pushed it through pop culture and made it like what it is today. And then my last one, I'd say Dorinda. And I just love all those women.
So very RHONY heavy.
I love RHONY. That's why this season is killing me. It's really upsetting.
What are your feelings on Leah McSweeney?
So I don't hate her like everyone else hates her.
We're the same way.
I don't like, I'm not crazy about her, but I also think that it might just be the dynamic of the show with like few women. And then there's also, it's like, you got Ebony and Leah who are like younger, and then you've got like the 3 older women, and there's no like, I feel like if there was someone in the middle a little bit, it would have been a little bit easier to like bridge the gaps, but it just doesn't seem like these women would be friends like if they weren't casted on the same show.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I've been saying my girl Tinsley needs to come back, because I think she would be a good in between.
Yeah, I think she would too. And I used to never really like Tinsley, and then her like last season, and then looking back at her Housewives career, I'm like, she's had like great moments, and she was like a great housewife. So I would not mind seeing Tinsley come back, but yeah, I don't understand the like visceral like hatred that like Leah gets.
It's so weird to me that like, okay, you're giving this girl a lot of credit saying she's ruining the show. Like, I don't know. I really don't understand it. Yeah, no,
it makes no sense to me. Like, people like hate her, and it's so weird because she was such a fan favorite last season. Like everyone was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, she's the best like housewife like on her first season that we've like ever had. Like people were saying like it just went from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum like so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Where like people just give Ramona consistently give her a pass for being just blatantly ignorant.
Yeah, no, it's a tough look. I might be one of those people that give Ramona a pass here and there. It's
Well, at least you admit it.
I can self-reflect and I can
Yeah.
like look and I understand that Ramona is awful. I always say this to people.
Problematic.
I'll be like at a party or something. I'll find, you know, when you find a Bravoholic at like a party and you just some people always
Yes.
start like
Oh yeah.
talking about everything and then they ask you your opinions and I go, listen, Ramona Singer's a monster, but she's my monster. Like she's an
Yes.
absolutely horrible person, but she's like I still love her on the show. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we want to hear your top 5 least favorites of all time.
Oh my gosh, least favorites. Okay. I definitely would say Siggy.
Oh,
Soggy Flicker.
Soggy, like mostly because of her like post Housewives like
yeah.
exit. Elizabeth Vargas. I do not understand why she got
Who?
casted.
Who is that
Who?
again?
I like
Who said
literally
that? Who said that?
Who said that? Who casted that? I literally don't
Yeah.
understand like why she got casted. She did not fit at all. It like every time she was on
No.
screen, it like made me like cringe. I like really like just
Oh.
couldn't stand it. I really don't have that many housewives that I like can't stand. Like I feel like all these women are like chaotic in their own like way and bring a different element of the show. And you really have to be like awful for me to like hate you as a reality TV star. Kelly Dodd was good at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and then she wasn't, and it's just been downhill. And she like I had to unfollow her because I was just like
Oh,
I
yeah.
couldn't like so I'd say she's probably in one of my least favorite right now. And then honestly I'd say Brandy Redmond is
Yeah.
up there.
Especially this last season.
Yeah, this last season was just like not it. She was
Yeah.
like really frustrating and
Yeah.
just made it all about herself when she should have just like really just taken the reins of the scandal, you know, and like apologized
Yeah.
and just like moved forward and like made a like an authentic friendship with Tiffany. So like definitely her. And then I think this person has like iconic moments, but when I would watch, like when I watched her, I like could not stand her. Was like Kelly Ben-Simone was tough.
Oh yeah.
She's like one of my least favorites.
Yeah. She's iconic, but she's hard to like.
She's iconic in a bad way.
Yeah.
She's like not likable.
Yeah.
She's
Well,
on that note, we wanted to just quickly touch on Shaw's that we kind of stopped covering it because we kind of got bored with it. But next week is the finale, so we'll probably do like a season recap next week. And then I guess there is a reunion, so we'll have to watch that too. But
the reunion looks like nice, I guess.
yeah, I actually liked what Reza was wearing.
he's lost so much weight. He looks great.
Yeah, he
He
good.
looks so different. Yeah, he looks really good.
Yeah, like without the mustache, the salt and pepper.
Yeah,
He
I
just
think it's a good look.
Yeah. And he's like really upped his like brand name collection of outfits and accessories, like that Louis tracksuit.
Oh yeah.
And he's always wearing Fendi or Gucci.
I was just about to say he like loves Fendi.
Yeah.
Yes. And he loves Cartier bracelets too.
Mhm.
He like always has like 3 stacked on his hands. I'm so
Who
jealous.
doesn't love a Cartier bracelet?
Well, on that note, should we start with Beverly Hills? Sutton was wearing a vintage Cartier bracelet.
Yeah, let's
we
get
could
into it.
Beverly Hills.
I tried to look up the price of that, but I wasn't able to find it.
She is like, as Lisa Rinna would say, she is rich, honey. Like she is rich.
Yeah, she is. I'm so curious how much that bracelet was, though. Even one of the producers in the episode asked her, and she wouldn't say.
Really?
Yeah.
She's a Southern woman. She
missed
doesn't
that part.
talk about her money.
Oh yeah, she did. When Garcelle asked her, she's like, "Where did you get your money?"
Yeah.
Yeah, Sutton doesn't like being asked about her money.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like Garcelle's thing. I think she does ask questions like that, but I feel like it never comes from a bad place, and that's kind of where we're
Mhm.
leaving off now with this, or where the episode picked up from, the kind of the aftermath of this Erica Garcelle stuff. But
Yeah,
I think
Erica's like
we
panic
all
attack.
we all know that Garcelle didn't have bad intentions with.
No, not at all. Like it was actually kind of like frustrating watching her having to say it like over and over again.
Yeah,
And like I consider myself a Lisa Rinna fan. Like I really do like Lisa Rinna.
yeah,
But
she's
in
my
that
girl.
moment, I was like, you're pissing me off. I was like,
Yeah,
Yeah, she wasn't she was being pretty uncool in that moment.
yeah, I
yeah.
agree.
And
And
I
it
say
was,
that as a Renna stan. Renna's in my top 5.
Yeah,
yeah,
Rena's my number one, so
I love Rinna. I think she's like so iconic. She's brought so much to the franchise, and people get mad at her for doing her job. She's a housewife.
exactly.
Like, it's like, I don't know what you want her to do.
Yeah,
But in that moment, I was like, there hasn't been like even a couple seasons in between.
I just didn't think she needed to be
Yeah,
like
she was
going
like
at her
attacking
the way
her.
she did.
Like when, yeah, it was just
Yeah,
very, girl, this is not it. I was not into it.
Yeah. I really don't think that Garcelle had bad intentions. Like she clearly was very upset that she made Erica so upset.
Like I feel
Yeah.
like since Erica didn't give her like a, I forgive you, I know that wasn't your intention. I feel like Erica's gonna hold on to that a little bit,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know. It was it was clear that that was not Garcelle's intention, and I
yeah,
felt so
Yeah.
bad for Garcelle in that moment. But I'm glad that
yeah,
Garcelle like also stood up for herself. Uh,
yeah,
and then when she almost walked out, I also loved how like Kathy was like kind of playing producer for a second and was like, no, you need to come back. Like you need to come
yeah,
back. And I was like, oh, so she is like aware of like what's going on. Like, you know,
yeah.
like,
I think
so
Kathy's a little smarter than she lets on.
no,
Yeah.
for sure. But I love every second of
Oh yeah.
it.
Well, I wrote this quote down, but Garcelle was like, "It happened to me, but it really could have been anyone." And I agree. I think Erica was kind of at her breaking point, and that was just kind of the thing that threw her over the edge. But I think it really could have been at any of the women, and it just ended up being Garcelle.
Especially knowing what we know with the article coming out and that she was
Yeah,
tipped off about it. It was like she was probably on edge. And like if anyone said anything, because like the questions that they were asking before were a lot more intense than like that question.
yeah,
So it definitely was like she was like in a high pressure situation. She was like stressed out and
yeah.
just snapped.
Well, Garcelle, I wouldn't be too worried because Sutton's kind of rallying the troops against Erica right now. So I think Erica's got some bigger people to worry about than
She's
Garcelle.
spearheading this Erica takedown.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is so crazy because I mean, obviously we saw the fight in the trailer, but seeing how they were like so close, like starting the season and seeing them hang out, I was like, what is like leading to this? But now we're starting to see what's gonna happen.
Sutton, I love how like Sutton went and read the entire article and then
Yeah,
came and explained it to everyone and was like,
yeah,
we need to like be really, really careful. Like this is not like, you know, a white collar like
yeah,
crime. Like this is crazy. There's victims. Like it's intense. And I loved like that moment. She was like, this is
yeah.
they use the word Ponzi scheme. Like I like it's very
Well, and even now, like next episode, usually like they were asking her tough questions. They're asking her even tougher questions next episode. They're looks like they're really going to be grilling her. So
I think we're also going to see a little bit of Kyle v Erica possibly at the reunion because Kyle's confessionals have been a little bit shady.
Yeah.
And
mm,
then also it looks like Kyle is probing more and asking more
yeah,
questions. And I definitely think that Erica's not going to not address that. I think that's
yeah,
going to be addressed and it's going to be very interesting to see since they've been friends for I don't know how many years did Dorit say, and then
6
Kathy was like,
years.
I don't know her.
Yeah, yeah, 6 years. It's been this is her sixth season. Um, and then it seems like Dorit also is getting more skeptical of Erica too. And then PK seems to not really want her to be close to Erica.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would probably be the same way. There's like, it's hard when it's like your friend or whatever, but it's getting tricky. Like the women are starting to see that it's not just like, oh, she got a divorce and she didn't know about this.
Yeah.
And it's even tricky for us as the viewers as well, because like before the season aired, I was like, oh, like F Erica. And then like during like the past couple weeks, I've been like, oh my gosh, like I feel bad for her, and like going back and forth. And then now I'm kind of like, how did she let this is getting I don't know what to think anymore. I just keep going back and forth.
Yeah.
It's been tough for me because Erica at one point was my number one favorite, and I still like Erica. I'm a little bit more skeptical than I used to be, but I still like her. But I don't know. I'm just a little iffy right now.
Yeah, it's tough. It's not a good look for her. I feel yeah.
It feels like it's starting to take a dark turn though, from like, oh, I got divorced, to now we're getting more into this legal stuff and the orphans and the widows, like
orphans and widows. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I live for that. You saying that, not like orphans and widows.
Yeah, no, not the orphans and widows not getting their money.
Yeah. And then Lisa Rinna sitting there in her leopard parka was like, is it really that cold? But at the same time, I was like, I really want her parka.
Yeah, she looks fabulous, honestly, especially at the dinner too. Like, in that jumpsuit, like she looked great. I thought she looked fantastic, but then she's just like, Garcelle, like, can you own it? And Garcelle's like, no, like, I'm not, it's not, you're not going to use your like one like pony trick that you use for everyone. It's like, own it, own it, own it. You're not going to use that on me when I didn't even do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought like Rinna was really all over Erica, trying to stay on her good side in that moment.
Yeah.
For sure.
I also, speaking again of Rinna, I thought it was really funny how she didn't know how to use the Keurig machine properly. Like she didn't press the button after she put the pod in.
That's the first thing I do in the morning, every morning. So it was just like funny, like seeing her like not be able to use that properly.
It's funny seeing these women just like do everyday tasks that we're like so used to.
I was kind of cackling at the ice moment with Kyle, where I can't remember if it was last night's episode or the week before, when she couldn't get the ice just kept spilling all over the floor.
Yeah.
Kyle's kitchen moments have been really funny this season.
Yeah. I know everyone's saying, you know, Kyle's having a good season, and I think it does have to do with Kathy. I think Kathy brings out a lighter side of Kyle, and Kim brings out a darker side of Kyle.
Yeah.
Sure.
With that being said, I'm a Kim Richards stan, so
I love Kim Richards, and I think it would be very interesting to see all three of them on camera at the same time.
Oh, I know that would.
I miss Kim so much.
Even just for like a lunch or like a little like party or something. I don't know, like just something, or invite Kim on a trip.
Yeah,
I don't think the show is good for Kim, but I like seeing her little like cameos.
Yeah, the show definitely, I think it's not a good environment for Kim, and like she is so set on staying sober. So I think it's a good for her, as much as I'd love to see her back.
Yeah.
So now we are going to leave the West Coast and head over to the East Coast, to our Potomac ladies, where we started off with the Darbys bringing home baby Dylan.
He's cute.
Yeah.
Really cute.
I think Dean is really, really cute too. The one thing I will say about Ashley, I feel like she's making being a boy mom like a personality trait, and it's kind of annoying to me. Like her shirt literally says raising boys, and then her tagline is like about how she's like raising two messy boys. I'm like, okay, we get it, you're a boy mom, please stop.
It's funny, like, because there are those women that like those moms that do like it's like a thing, you know. So it is like funny, but baby Dylan's cute, baby Dean is cute. I thought the moment between like when she was with Giselle and the baby, I thought that was like hysterical and like really cute. Dean has been giving us like moments.
I know. He really kind of like he gave Karen and Giselle the same like face, like, I do not know this woman.
I loved in the beginning of the season when she was like, close your eyes, Dean, and he like shut his eyes, and it was like so cute.
Yeah, he's adorable. And as much as I dislike Michael Darby, I think he is
Yeah.
disgusting. I do think he seems like he's sweet with both of the little boys.
Yeah, for sure.
When he's around.
He's Michael is disgusting.
Yeah.
Absolutely vile. But
yeah. And that's the reason I haven't liked Ashley as much, because I just feel like he brings her down.
Yeah, he does.
It would be so interesting to see what Ashley would be like without Michael.
Yeah, I would be curious to see.
Yeah.
One of my favorite quotes of the episode was Candace, like, about Ashley coming on the trip. She's like, I thought your coochie was healing.
And then Candace thinks she forgot to invite Ashley. Just stop it, Candace. Just say you didn't want to invite her. We all know that.
Yeah.
It's fine. Just own it.
Own it.
But Candace is kind of having like a good season so far. Like she's like definitely turning it around, I feel like, or she's trying to grow. I feel like she's like where like Ashley was like a couple years ago when Ashley was super messy and then Ashley was trying to grow. Yeah. So I think we're having that kind of moment.
I have to say, I'm like a Candace stan. I was kind of like a closeted Candace stan last year, but now I'm just embracing it, and I'm a full-on Candace stan.
You're out and proud about the Candace stan card. You're like, I'm here.
I don't have a problem with liking Candace either. I did have a problem with how messy that room was. What was with all those trash bags?
Yeah, it was bad. It was.
How could you let your house look like that when you have cameras coming in?
I mean, I'm like, I get that you just moved in to your new house, but still, it's like, that's like, it just was, it was not, I was not here for that.
So bad. The trash bags were making me think of Angelina from Jersey Shore.
I was just about to say Angelina from Jersey Shore. It was really giving me that energy.
Oh my gosh, so bad. And then when Mia was walking with her family and her daughter Juju fell down, I literally gasped. I was like,
she ate it.
I literally started laughing.
I was like, that poor little girl. She's gonna see that on camera. That was like, that's not like a home video.
Yeah.
Like with your family. It was on national television, like for everyone to see.
For a million people to see.
Oh my gosh, poor thing.
I actually rewinded it a couple times because I wanted to individually watch everyone's reaction to it. Mia's like the only one who reacted.
Yeah.
Gordon had his hands full. The other boys are just staring. It was like, it was really funny.
That poor little girl. I felt so
I'm
bad, but I was
a terrible person, but it made me laugh. I actually thought Mia had a really good episode. It was really nice to see her be a little bit more authentic. I had felt like a couple times she was a little bit inauthentic this season, but I really, really liked her this episode.
I really enjoyed watching the sit down and her and Robin's conversation about their parents and everything. I just thought it was like very like open and real and like a conversation that we don't tend to see on Bravo too much.
Yeah.
Especially about AIDS and everything. So I thought it was like very, I loved watching it. It just felt super real and made me like Mia a lot, like more. I mean, I never didn't like her. I think she's honestly a great addition.
Yeah.
But it gave her more depth.
For sure. And I also think I like Robin even more for talking about Juan's parents. As she said before, like Juan didn't have parents really because they died when Juan was so young. And I just thought it was a really powerful moment hearing them both talk about that. It's not something we hear enough about on TV. It's something lots of people, men and women, suffer from. So I think it's really important to talk about.
Yeah.
100%.
I think Mia knew the stripper pole a little too well.
She was working that stripper pole. She looked great. I was like, just say that there was poles there. Like, you know, like, or at least say you were going to places with poles and you had practice. Like, I don't know.
Unless you worked at Shakers, girl. I don't know.
Not Shakers.
Danielle, Erica.
Oh, can I also say another thing that made me love Mia even more? When Giselle said to her, "Oh, look at you in your fur." And she said, "It's faux fur." Because I really was I had in the back of my mind the whole time wondering if that was real fur or not, because I detest people who wear fur. And I was really, really happy to see that it was fake.
Yeah, there we go. She's a world queen. We love to see it.
Yeah, I agree. I think she's a really, really good addition. I mean, I don't know if you're a Monique stan, but I honestly don't even feel the presence of Monique gone. I think this cast is perfect.
I feel like so I used to really like Monique. Like Monique was like one of my favorites on Potomac. And then but clearly last season got so dark. And especially like, and I hate when people say that about like housewives, like, or like reality TV, like where they're like, it got so dark. And I'm like, what are you watching? I don't know. Like
I think this is like the show made it dark too.
But that's what I was just gonna say was like going on Twitter during that time was toxic for my mental health. And it was just like everyone was like, if you liked Monique, like you were a Candace stan, or they were a Candace stan, it was like World War III, like every time I logged onto Twitter. And I just don't think that this season would be at like flowing the way that it is if Monique was still on the show.
I think so too.
I think it was a good call. I think Monique stands are like similar to LVP stands in that way. I just can't really stand them. So
I think like standing any housewife, and like, okay, I obviously like stan my housewives, but like I can also call them out.
Yeah, same.
I think it's like, I hate when like people like act like Vanderpump didn't do anything, or act like Monique didn't do anything, or act like Candace didn't do anything. I'm like, are we watching the same show? Like, I'm so confused right now, because it's like you can be a big fan. At the end of the day, these are like housewives, these are women. Like it's not that deep. Like but being able to recognize that I don't watch these shows to like watch like these perfect women who don't do anything wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
So like they're gonna do stuff that's wrong. They're like not gonna be in the right. And I think like it's like a reflection, honestly, when you watch reality TV. Like obviously it's heightened and it's like chaotic, but it also shows like relationship dynamics that like everyday people still go through. Doesn't matter how rich you are, how like much money you have and stuff like that, you're still gonna have those like friendship dynamics. And not everyone is always right in those situations. So you have to kind of like take a step back and be like, okay, I stand LVP, but was she wrong here? You know?
See, that is me, because LVP is my number one housewife, but she was wrong, and I can totally acknowledge that. So I would like to think I am the diamond in the rough, Michael, of LVP fans. No pun intended.
Yeah, Gabby and I have beef because my number one fave is Rinna and her number one fave is LVP. So
that's tough. That's tough.
And she's a Kenya stan and I'm a Portia stan. So
oh no, you guys are on opposite ends of the spectrum. But
it's not. But Rinna, I love her. She's in my top 5, and Portia's in my top 10. Like I still love them too. I just love Kenya and LVP just a little bit more.
Yeah.
LVP brought so much to Beverly Hills and the franchise. Like you can't like deny that. Like
no, definitely not.
She obviously like put it on the map. Like she was fantastic on the show. It bothered me so much, not necessarily if she sold the story or like whatever, but the way she exited the show was just
so annoying.
Exactly.
And that's what bothered me. I'm like, show up. Like same thing with Nene. Like Nene's in my top 5, but the way that she exited, I wasn't happy with either. So
you think I sold a story to Radar Online?
Goodbye, Kyle.
Yeah, I actually, like, as someone who doesn't like LVP at all, she was one of my favorites. Like when her and Brandy were like besties, that's when I loved her.
It was so much fun when they were like close.
Yeah, I love that friendship.
It's housewives. We like the mess.
Back to Potomac. I thought Mia handled like Robin just kicking her out of like the upstairs room really well. And I thought that was kind of like shitty of Robin. Like,
I thought it was super shitty.
Yeah.
I was like, this girl is new in your group. Like you should probably like, you know, make her feel welcome and give her the room that she picked initially. And you're still in that like beautiful, I don't think any room in that house is like, I think Mia had a very good mindset about it. She's like, I'm in this beautiful house. Like, I don't care. Like, give me another room. But I don't know. It was
It's not a big deal. It's just the way she went about it.
It was a little Ramona Sonia.
So bad. Yeah.
And what did we think about the more of the Giselle and Karen feud?
Oh my gosh, Giselle's face when Karen got on the bus sent me. That was so funny.
I love the Giselle Karen feud. I think it's made its way into like the top feuds of all time. Like, obviously you have like Kim Zolciak and like Nene, you have like Bethany Jill, like you have like
Portia Kenya.
Teresa, Portia Kenya.
Yeah.
But in this situation, I'm like, what are you guys still arguing about? Like, and I'm kind of like Karen, and I'm a Karen stan. I love Karen, but like she did not wish death upon Ray. Like, she didn't. Like she just didn't. Like you're kind of like, and I think what Mia said was like, when I first heard that, like I was like, whoa, like this girl's crazy, for saying that. And she didn't say that. She just said like, I'll be looking flawless, like when he goes, like it's not like she had like a hit out for him. It wasn't like the mom.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're the same age. He's a lot older. So yeah.
Karen's just looking for something else to hate on Giselle about is what I think the root of it is.
Was it in poor taste? Maybe. But it at the end of it, she was not wishing death upon him. Now.
And that was how many years ago too? It's like, it just feels like she's reaching.
It was It was season 2.
Yeah. So 4 years ago.
And this episode was a to be continued, but I wasn't angry about it because it actually felt like a to be continued that was earned.
Yeah.
I don't think any to be continued is earned anymore. I'm like, literally Potomac, Beverly Hills, and New York were all to be continued this week.
Oh,
or maybe not Beverly Hills.
What did they to be continued? I can't even remember what the to be continued. Oh, with RHONY, like the dinner, like
stupid Shabbat.
Like
okay. Yeah, should we get on to RHONY now?
Yeah, we can jump into
whatever's
left of RHONY.
Yeah, it'll be probably pretty quick. So
I just wanted to point out Archie, the hostess's house. She had like animal cages with no animals in them, like stacked up on each other. There were like vases in some of them. I was so confused.
It was super chaotic. It was very much like we talked about this on our podcast, but kind of like when people just throw shit in their house everywhere and then they call it eclectic, and you're like, no, this isn't like eclectic. This is a mess. Like, like like there's no like. It was like she was using them as shelves, but I don't know. I thought she had like a bird or something at first, but I'm like, okay, no.
Yeah, same. I was like, oh, cool, birds. That's kind of a lot of bird cages in an apartment, but cool. And then I was like, oh, wait, there's no birds.
No.
I don't think that like Leah needed to be on Zoom the entire time. Like,
that was like, awkward.
I was like, all right, you say hello, do the prayer, and then be like, all right, I wish you could be there, but I can't. So have fun, enjoy your time, and then like log off, because it was like they had a switch, like,
Yeah. It was and she's like yelling at Ramona through the thing, and I'm like,
I mean, I love that.
For like Ramona. I'm all for someone yelling at Ramona, but not through the phone.
It would have been better if it was in person.
Yeah.
I said that what would have made this like scene like so great is if like Jill or Bethany were there, like a part of the cast, like at this dinner with like Ramona acting like that. Could you imagine, like Jill being there, like Jill as a Jewish woman, like it would have been so chaotic in a good way.
Well, that's why I think Bethany is so good on the show, because she keeps Ramona in check. I don't think anyone else can really keep Ramona in check. Even Dorinda, because Dorinda was too messy.
She was scared of Bethany, but the only other person besides Bethany that really would like get on Ramona's case was like Jill.
Yeah.
Like, she wasn't scared of Jill, but it was like an even playing field where they were going back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like Ramona couldn't overpower Jill and Jill couldn't overpower Ramona because they're just two strong personalities that are just like clashing.
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny that Ebony and Sonia were calling themselves introverts. I don't think either of them know the definition of that word. And I was like, bless the Bravo producers when they played the montage of all the instances of Sonia not being an introvert.
I was like, that
actually,
is,
Sonia.
I'm like, Sonia, like
No.
you're not an introvert at all. I'm the same. I understand what she was like saying, where it's like I consider myself an extrovert, but I also need like my alone time to like recharge.
Yeah, that's how
Like
I
after
am.
like after like last week when I was like at that bachelorette and everything, I was like, I definitely like need to come home and just like not see anyone for like a couple of days and like watch Bravo, you know, like just like
Yeah.
chill out.
Yeah.
So like, but you're not like I'm not an introvert. So like
Yeah.
I feel like Sonia, it's like, okay, like you can go home and like chill out and like recharge. I get that. But like you're not an introvert. You're like so extroverted.
Yeah.
And Ebony is not at all either. Nobody who like shares all the things that she does at parties, like how well spoken she is about all these different topics. She's not an introvert.
Well, my favorite quote of the night was after Ramona said that Jewish people hated her in college. Leah said, I'm sure everybody hated you in college.
It's like they probably met you. They probably all hated you.
Yeah.
Yes. See, that's why I love Leah.
Yeah.
See, my favorite line wasn't even from anybody in the cast. It was after Sonia was like, let's listen to the blacks and the Jews. And the people at the party were like, the blacks and the Jews, I need another margarita. And they were just like cackling in the corner, like just watching it. Like I thought it was so funny. Sonia and Ramona were both like behaving horribly, but in different ways. Like Ramona was behaving like horribly in like this like ignorant kind of way where she just like wasn't listening at all. And then like Sonia was just being like Sonia, getting drunk off of a little tequila and stuff. And it was just a lot of chaotic energy. And like I love RHONY for its chaotic energy, but it's not this kind of chaotic energy.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan.
It's crazy though, because even though Sonia's chaotic, she does try to like, she does seem like more of a voice of reason. And at times, like she does try to keep Ramona like in check, but it just like doesn't work because they're just both way too chaotic.
I feel like Ramona won't ever take anything from Sonia if Sonia doesn't get her own like shit together. And I feel like Ramona's always gonna view like Sonia as like this like weak, insecure, like you know, which is like sad. Like your friend shouldn't like your friend should be gassing you up, you know, and like helping you out. So I don't know. It's a very interesting dynamic between Ramona right now.
Yeah. And I'm sure Ebony's friends will never hang out with these girls ever again. And I don't blame them.
I feel like one of the big misses this season, obviously it was like the pandemic, like it was like hard to like film this season. But the 5-person cast, like when one person like gets, especially during a pandemic, if like one person gets like exposed to COVID and only 4 women can show up, it just is, it was off. You know, it wasn't like.
That's what we've been saying too. I think every cast should have at least 6, 7. I think is ideal, honestly.
I agree. I think 7 is like a perfect number.
Yeah.
Of women. And RHONY's done 8 before, and it was great.
Yeah.
And so I think that they could like obviously do that again. And it was like frustrating because they like lost like, you know, some big paychecks.
Yeah, Bethany.
And it's like, why didn't you, like, you lost Bethany, then you lost Dorinda and Tinsley.
Yeah.
So like, why couldn't you bring in some like more women? It's not making sense to me.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, I really agreed with what Andy said. I don't necessarily think there needs to be like, honestly, any firings. I like all 5 of them for the show. I just think personally I would bring back Tinsley and Dorinda and then maybe like one newbie.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think they need to build on this cast. I'd like to see Ebony in a second season. I just think that like what Ebony's trying to do, which is like great. Like I love her message and everything and what she's trying to say, but it feels like wrong platform.
Wrong
like,
audience, yeah.
And it's like not even the audience necessarily, because Beverly Hills had a fantastic conversation about race last night, like an amazing conversation that just felt like authentic and like real and like about everyone's like lives, but also like the grander scheme of things, instead of just like, I'm gonna teach you like a lesson right now and we're all like gonna get together like it's like a little school.
Well,
love
I
hearing.
feel like the difference is that cast has the ability to do that, and I don't think RHONY does mostly because of Ramona. But
Yeah,
um,
no,
it,
it's true.
yeah, that cast just I can't picture them having just like a normal conversation like that.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's been like difficult, and I think that's what's also been like frustrating is like the friction between like Ebony
Yeah,
trying to educate everyone, and then
yeah.
also like Ramona not wanting to hear it. So it's
I
like
think
created like
yeah.
kind of like a frustration for the viewers to watch.
I think if Ramona wasn't there, honestly, this season would probably be a lot different.
Very different.
Yeah, it would be.
But I don't want Ramona to leave yet.
Yeah.
I think she's like, I just think we need to build on it.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
and then we can go from there. I honestly, I really liked, I really like Bershawn, and I really think that Bershawn should have gotten like an apple, especially looking at the cast and the
Yeah.
season. I'm like, why didn't she get an apple? It doesn't make sense to me because she has that RHONY energy,
Hmm.
like that
I'm just not sure if
messiness.
she meshes well with the other women,
Yeah, no, I don't know either. It's and
but I'd like to see more of her.
I would love to see more of her. I wish she was invited to that dinner. I feel like it would have been
I
like a
know.
little
I
bit
feel
better.
like Black Shabbat, that like Bershawn should have been there over
Yeah.
Ebony just
Ramona.
didn't want to invite her.
Yeah.
especially since Leah couldn't go.
Yeah. Fingers crossed there's not that many more episodes left, but they still haven't filmed the reunion. So
Yeah.
Who
who
knows?
knows? Maybe we, and honestly, I would be fine if we didn't have a reunion.
See, I think I want a reunion, but it does not need to be 3 parts.
No,
two.
two max.
Two
Yeah.
max.
Yeah, that's how I feel as well. So we wanted to say a huge thank you to Zack for being on our podcast today. We loved having you. Do you want to share your podcast name and your Instagram with everybody?
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me on. It's been so much fun. I love talking about Bravo. Obviously, I could talk about it for hours. But yes, so I have a podcast with my friend Modesto. We release episodes every Monday and Thursday, recapping the shows that have aired that week. It's called It's About Bravo, and we're streaming on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, like anywhere you can get your podcasts. And then you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at about_Bravo.
Yeah, you definitely want to check out their content. It is hilarious.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
Especially the housewives scene recreation.
I love making those. So those are going to keep coming.
Yeah, they're so fun.
Well, thank you again. We will see you for another episode of The Word on the Street Is.